From the first military bands to the first coins in history, the land now known as Türkiye gave rise to some of the first inventions and saw numerous milestones and discoveries. In this video, we will share 5 of them with you. Programmed fountains that run a water flow from a bird's mouth, a machine that provides guests with towels when needed through an automated servant, and an elephant-shaped clock that keeps track of the passage of time. These are a few of the iconic inventions that are considered the first programmable robots in the history of engineering. They belong to Ismail al-Jazari, an inventor who was born in the 12th century in Diyarbakir, a city in modern-day Türkiye. He pioneered basic robotics and laid the foundation for modern engineering. He was passionate about documenting his work and detailing how his machines operated. In his catalog, the Book of Knowledge of Ingenious Mechanical Devices, al-Jazari incorporated diagrams and illustrations of his machines using different colors. He included one of his most famous machines, a crankshaft, in this book. The piece could convert a linear movement into rotary movement. Several works of his are on display today at the Topkapi Saray Museum in Istanbul. Did you know that the idea for smallpox vaccination originated in Türkiye? The fatality rate of smallpox was very high in the early 18th century. 1/3 of the people who contracted the disease died, and those who survived usually suffered from scars that covered their bodies. But some women in the Ottoman Empire figured out a way to stop smallpox infections using the live virus. Lady Mary, the wife of the English ambassador to the empire, came across a technique those local women were practicing. Lady Mary observed this technique's efficacy and then arranged to have her child inoculated right away. As this method seemed to yield optimistic results, she thought of promoting it in her own country. "I am patriot enough to take the pains to bring this useful invention into fashion in England," she said. Despite the initial opposition, arguably motivated by religion, sexism, and medical fears, as doctors thought it might not be safe enough, this Ottoman solution took hold in England, but only after there was another outbreak of an epidemic did people start lining up to get inoculated. One of these people was a young boy named Edward Jenner. After so many years of being inoculated using the Ottoman method, this boy, now a man, developed a safer technique that saved millions of lives in what was the very first vaccination. The first gold coins are believed to belong to ancient Lydia, a kingdom that flourished in the western part of Anatolia in modern-day Manisa, Türkiye. The coins that date back to the 6th century BCE were made of electrum, a naturally occurring gold-silver alloy found in rivers. They were decorated with punched images of lions and bulls, created using a metal hammer. To establish the value of the coins, Lydians checked the purity of the metal they used to mint the coins with. The World's Historical Encyclopedia mentions that Lydians developed the concept of coinage because the region was a trading center at the time. Before coins, people used to make their payments using metal bullion or by barter. Many historians argue that the first black pilot in the world was the Ottoman military officer Ahmet Ali Çeliktin, born in Aydın province in 1833. According to some Ottoman historians, his grandmother was brought to Istanbul by slave traders and was most likely among the last group of slaves to arrive. Slave trade was officially prohibited by the Ottoman government by the mid-19th century. His mother, Lady Emine, was however born a free woman and got married to an African man who reportedly worked as a postman in Istanbul. They then moved to Izmir, where Çeliktin spent most of his childhood. After his graduation, he joined the Ottoman army as a lieutenant. Later on, Çeliktin was among many officers who, under the initiative of the Ottoman military general Mahmud Sevket Pasha, went to an aviation school. After completing his course, he was then recruited by the Ottoman Empire as a pilot. After 41 years of service and dedication to the Ottoman Empire and the Turkish Republic, Çeliktin passed away in 1969. Ottoman military bands are believed to be the oldest military bands in the history of mankind. These bands, or mehteran as they were called, represented the great values of the nation, such as bravery, heroism, and chivalry. These bands were trained to play in preparation for war. They were meant to encourage soldiers in the battlefield to stay vigilant and to inspire them to trust themselves. Whenever the Ottoman fighting forces would pass through significant points within their territory, the announcement of their arrival or departure from each area was made by the mehtars. Nowadays, many armies around the world have their own military bands, inspired by this Turkish tradition, which is still in practice today.